So the Trump administration last week proposed some rule changes to the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act, that would allow banks and other financial institutions to invest in professional sports stadiums and be able to consider those investments as aid to the poor, which is just, you know, insane on its face. So these rule changes would be overseen, I believe, by the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, as well as the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Both of those kind of regulatory agencies are run by Trump administration appointees. And so, for example, with regards to like the NFL, there would be 12, they call opportunity zones, that would qualify for these banks and other financial institutions to invest into, and they would be able to consider that as aid to the poor, resulting in them be able to use these investments in these professional sports stadiums as tax write-offs. So they would get, huge tax breaks under the capital gains tax changes, I believe, that were passed in 2017 by the Trump administration. And then, yeah, so this is, I mean, just really ridiculous to think that, these banks like, Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or Bank of America or whatever other financial institution or bank you would want to list, by them investing in these so-called opportunity zones in these professional sports stadiums, they would be getting, this massive tax break for doing so, because supposedly this is benefiting the poor or the low income community in those opportunity zones somehow, which, on its face does not make any sense at all. Because how is, investing in a new, let's say, sound system at the Baltimore Ravens stadium or a new jumbotron in another stadium somehow, how is that going to be benefiting the poor? Obviously it's not going to. NFL games are, prohibitively expensive to attend. You got to have a decent amount of disposable income to be able to attend one of them. The last NFL game I went to was a Seattle Seahawks game a few years ago that my partner got us tickets for, and they weren't, near the 50-yard line or in like a suite or anything like that, but there still were, I believe, like 90 or even $100 for not, very good seats. And we were very privileged to have that, a little bit of disposable income to be able to attend one. But if if somebody or a family is just living paycheck to paycheck, how, you're obviously not going to be able to attend one of these games, because you got to worry about, paying your rent, keeping the lights on, putting food on the table, daycare, transportation, these types of things. And so attending an NFL game or another professional sports game is obviously a luxury and a privilege that a lot of people don't have, because they don't have the financial ability to do that. So by letting these banks and financial institutions invest in these professional sports stadiums as supposedly aid to the poor or low income communities where they are placed, it's just asinine, and is only going to benefit those banks and financial institutions by being able to get a huge tax write-off for doing that. And just another clear example that Donald Trump, the whole rhetoric about draining the swamp was just that. It was only talk. He's time and time again through his policies and the changes to different rules that he has proposed are only benefiting the wealthy and the oligarchic class. So if you are not part of that, you really shouldn't be supporting Donald Trump. We should be doing everything that we can to elect Bernie Sanders as our next president, because he's the only one who is, willing and has shown throughout his political career to take on the, establishment, the status quo, to fight for the working people of the United States and the world. And this is just another clear example of Donald Trump being on the wrong side of that equation by proposing these rule changes that would just help out the banks and the wealthy and the corporations to the detriment of everybody else. So those are my thoughts on these proposed rule changes to the CRA. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And I would love if you subscribe to the channel, because once I get to 50 subscribers, I will take a polar plunge in a local river, and it's currently winter here in the Pacific Northwest, and it would be quite chilly, and I would document it on the GoPro. Peace and much love.